Welcome everybody. I am so glad that you are here. Welcome to our participants out there in San Francisco area and to our Woodlands area. I'm Sandra and I am here in my home in the Woodlands, Texas. And right now you are in my kitchen. So welcome to my kitchen. Not only am I a diabetes prevention lifestyle coach, but I am also a certified group fitness instructor as well as a certified running coach. So I'm very excited to be presenting this webinar on in-home resistant training. Resistant training is anything that uses force or against movement, force or resistance against your movement. Resistance training is what we're going to talk about today, is the resistance of your own body weight, but it also could be the weight of or the resistance of free weights or like dumbbells. I had something else I was gonna say, but I'm gonna go ahead and move on. So we're in my kitchen, and as I said, we are going to use things that you can use here in the comfort of your home. That's actually what I'm gonna say. Resistance training is perfect because you can use this in the comfort of your home, not just during your quarantine time, but at any time. The great thing about in-home resistant training is that as you get stronger and more flexible, that you can increase your own resistance. And we're going to do some modifications on that today, and I'll show you how to do that. So I pulled a few things out of my own pantry so that you don't have to have any of your own weights. So I have water bottles and I have soup cans. Now, both of these items are just roughly over a pound a piece. So, but the thing is, as you can see, this soup can is a little not heavy, is a little thick to hold in your hand. The water bottle is a little bit better of a grip, although it is a little flexible. So if I double this up, that would already be 2 weights, 2 pounds, if your hands are strong enough to hold that or big enough. As you get stronger, you could up the weights of things that you could find in your own pantry, going up to even a gallon jug of water or milk, which equals to be about 8.5 pounds. So for today's purposes, I am going to be using water bottles, and these are, like I said, a little bit over a pound a piece. This is what we're going to use, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a seat, and I'm just using a kitchen chair. It's a nice solid chair so that I am safe and secure. So I have my feet planted firmly on the ground, and they're roughly shoulder width apart. So the first thing we're going to do is some bicep curls. So you can stretch out your arm. What I always want you to do is think about your posture. As you can see, I'm kind of moved a little to the front of the chair. I'm standing up. I'm sitting up nice and straight. My spine is straight and my chest is open. Now I'm going to also keep my chin and my eyes facing forward for demonstration purposes. And I'm going to always breathe. So I'm going to breathe in, hold it, and I'm going to breathe out. Breathe in and out. You never want to hold your breath when you're exercising. So you always want to make sure that you're breathing. Like I said, you could double that up, make this a 2-pound weight, and then you could curl up and curl down. The idea is that you want to do about 5 to 10 repetitions. If you can do up to 10, that would be great. You could take a break, then you could repeat it. That's called a set. So maybe 5 to 10 repetitions, 2 to 3 sets, and you have yourself a workout on just your biceps. Now, we're also going to use these, and we're going to do a push-up, not a push-up. Arm raise. So I'm going to lift my arms up it's a shoulder press and down. And again, always breathe. In, out. As you notice, my elbows and my arms are parallel to the ground. My feet, again, firmly on the ground. My knees parallel. Everything is upright. My chin's forward. My chest is open. My back is straight. Push up and down. Slow. Again, 5 to 10 repetitions. And if you can do sets, that would be great. You could, again, add some weight, double this up, and then you could press up there too, or find something else in your pantry that weighs a little bit more as you progress on your weights. Next, I'm going to demonstrate a wall push-up. This is a push-up that's modified, and I'm going to show you several ways of modifying push-up. So if you think, oh, I could never do a push-up, I'm going to prove you wrong. So the thing about this is you want to find a flat wall, obviously one that doesn't have artwork on it since you're in your house. For today's purposes, I'm going to use my door. So I'm going to have my hands against the wall or my door slightly further than shoulder width apart. I'm going to keep my feet, again, flat on the floor. My heels are down. My toes are pointing straight ahead, about a little bit more than shoulder width apart. Again, straight back. My rear end is tucked in solid. And then I'm going to flex forward, breathing in and breathing. And again, take it nice and slow. Now, when I talk about your posture, you want to make sure you're not sagging in your stomach like this. I'm going to exaggerate this motion. You don't want to sag your stomach in, and you also don't want your rear end to go out like this. So that puts you in a really bad position. See, my back is swayed and my rear end is popped out. So I want my hips in square, everything square, nice and solid and straight. And then I'm going to push it in. And build up on your sets as you get stronger. That's the great thing about resistant training. You're building your muscle, you're building your flexibility and your balance all at the same time by just using resistance. Now, that's the first step, is using the wall. As you get better, you can go to another solid surface in your house. I'm coming back into my kitchen. My countertop is not going to move. I definitely don't recommend you doing this against a chair, because a chair can slide. Even a coffee table or an ottoman, they're not going to be stable enough, and I don't want the furniture to like slip away from you. So you might want to choose something like a countertop, something that's going to be nice and solid and is not going to move from you. So again, I'm not up here. I'm at a little lower level, which is going to increase that force or that resistance, and it's going to be a little tougher. So again, here I am, my legs a little more than hip width apart, my arms against my countertop, it's not going anywhere, and I'm going to bend in and push out. As a reminder, always check your form, keep that tailbone, everything all tucked in, nice and tight, nice and straight, and breathe. Now we're going to walk down my hall. So welcome to my kitchen. Now you're going to go to my staircase, and we're going to increase that, a different modification on that push-up. The great thing about steps is if you don't have them in your house, you can usually find stairs anywhere. Maybe your front porch, or if you're out on a walk, there's going to be staircases. So this is something that you could actually build into a walk or a run or any outing when you're outside. So for my purposes today, because we're in my house, we're going to use my staircase. And we're going to modify all the way down the steps. So I'm going to start at the 4th step, and I'm just going to quickly demonstrate these for sake of time. So I'm going to start at this 4th step, utilizing all the same things that I told you before. We're going to bend in and out. If that gets to be too easy for me, I can move down another set of steps and push or down. Now I'm on a rug and my rug is actually moving, so I'm not really in a great spot. And then all the way down to the floor. To modify even on the floor, you could put your knees up, and that's a modification, or to go into a full push-up on your toes and down. Okay, so that is several ways to modify your push-up. Push-ups are great because they work out your chest and your back and your core, your lower back. It's a great all-around exercise. While we're still here at my steps, we've worked our biceps, we've worked our shoulders, we've done some push-ups. Now we're going to work the tricep, which is the back of the muscle. The bicep is in the front, triceps in the back. We're going to have a seat on the steps, but don't get too comfortable. All right, so here I am, feet flat on the floor, again, parallel. My hands, as well as my thumbs, are all pointed down. Don't sit like this. I don't know if you can see my hands. I don't want you sitting like this. I want you sitting like that. You're going to lift up that tailbone, that rear end, and you are going to dip. My feet are flat on the ground. My arms are dipped, and I'm going to push up. And I'm working that back muscle of my arm, my tricep. Always breathe. Nice and slow. For more resistance, I can stay in this position a little bit longer to feel a little bit of that burn in the back of my arm. And then up and down. And as always, I'm going to do those 5 to 10 times as repetitions. Take a break and repeat for as many sets as you can do. 2, 3, 4, whatever that works out for you. So we are now going to talk a little bit about some balance. And to do that, I'm going to stay right here in my hall, and I'm going to use a chair. The chair is really for safety. As we get older, our balance and our flexibility starts to waver. Sometimes when we're out, even just for a walk, we feel a little unstable. So if we practice and do some of these balance exercises, you'll notice an increase of that balance, and you'll feel a little more secure when you're out for a walk. So we're going to use the chair just as a safety net, but we're going to practice it without the chair as well. So what we're going to do, we're simply just going to stand here. Again, our feet planted firmly on the ground, and then we're just going to lift one leg. And I've just lifted it off the ground. Now, the key is that you want to take your hands away, and you want to hold this up to a minute if you can. You might want to start with just a few seconds, 5 seconds, 15, 30, and see if you can do it up to a minute. Now, one thing that you want to think about when you're balancing, as I'm standing here talking to you, you can kind of see if I don't think about my feet, you can kind of see and I'm doing this, I don't know if you can see my ankles. I'm exaggerating my ankle movement a little bit. if I kind of stretch out my toes and try to think about them being planted into the ground, it's going to make me more solid. My toes now are like spread, I know you can't see them, and they're pushed against the ground. Again, I'm holding my body upright. My hips are square, my chest is open, my chin is forward. So it's always important to think about your form. If you feel unsteady, just simply hold on to the chair until you feel a little bit more comfortable to let go. You can always kind of, practice movement. It's a little bit of yoga to see if you can hold it. Then you repeat on the other side. And breathe. Always, always breathe. Another great exercise you can do to help with your balance is toe raises. While we're standing here, again, using the chair as our safety net, we're going to stand here. I'm hip width apart, and I'm simply just going to raise on my toes. I'm using the chair for balance if I need it. If you can, let go. Again, repeating what I had said before. Whoops, see, now I just lost my balance because I was talking. I lost my concentration. If you go up on your toes, again, you might want to think about planting those toes into the ground, especially that big toe. Think about it being firm and solid into the floor, and that'll help stabilize you. And then drop it down. Again, you could hold it as long as you could, repeat it for another set. And I'm going to demonstrate one more thing, and this is really like a tightrope walk. It's really an exaggerated walk, but it helps with walking balance. So I'm going to start with my heels. I'm going to my toe, rolling into my toes, going to my feet, my heels, to my toes, up on my toes, as if I'm on a tightrope. So I just did that wrong because I can see he's the camera. I'm like concentrating too much. So let me show that again. My heel is going in front of that toe. I'm rolling into that toe, and I heel. Let's see. I'm losing my own balance as I'm trying to talk. It's really just a tight rope walk, and it helps with your balance. And I'm probably walking too much for my camera guy. So as you're there, you could even do some practicing. Look, we can act like we're in the Olympics on the balance beam. And you can simply just lift up your legs. I do this sometimes in the kitchen when I'm just cooking. I'll think about it, and maybe I'm stirring, and I'll just lift up my leg, and I just practice my balance movement. And you can do that too. So these are all things that you can easily do in your house. Some of them you can do even on the toe raise. You could even do that in your kitchen as well. So there's some things that you can do while multitasking, but these are all simple things that you can do in the comfort of your own home, and that you can continue to escalate the weight, the force, and the resistance as you see your own personal progress and your strength and your balance and your flexibility.